250 years of power, the story of the United States Army. It began with a rebellion against a king, against tyranny, against the weight of the empire. King George III had imposed his will on the colonies, taxes, laws, and rule without representation. The people had enough, sparking a handful of colonists, armed with muskets in hand, grit in their bones, and the dream of freedom in their hearts. The revolution began. June 14, 1775, the birth of a nation, the birth of its army. There was no president, no capital, just an idea defended by men willing to fight and die for liberty. The Revolution, 1775 to 1783. The Continental Army was raw, poorly trained, barely supplied, but unshakably determined. Led by General George Washington, farmers and tradesmen took on the world's greatest military power and won. Valley Forge, Yorktown, blood, snow, and steel forged America's first warriors, born out of true grit. Victory wasn't just survival. It was the foundation of a legacy, the United States of America. Building a nation, 1783 to 1860. With independence secured, the Army shrank, but danger never disappeared. The War of 1812, called by some the Second War of Independence. The White House burned, but the Army held firm. The British were pushed back once more. Then came the Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. New frontiers, new tactics. The Army expanded westward, growing with a nation hungry for more. A country being built, a military adapting and evolving. The Civil War, 1861 to 1865. Brother against brother, North versus South. The U.S. Army fractured, leading to the bloodiest conflict in American history. From Gettysburg to Appomattox, the battlefield changed forever. Innovation exploded, railroads, telegraphs, repeating rifles. Through unimaginable loss, a new age of war began. Global awakening, 1898 to 1918. The Spanish-American War launched the U.S. onto the world stage. Then came World War I. Trenches, gas masks, tanks, planes. The U.S. Army deployed over 1 million troops to Europe. The Yanks are coming wasn't just a song, it was a global warning. By 1918, the U.S. Army stood tall among the world's elite. A new power had risen, and it was just getting started. World War II FDR coined the Arsenal of Democracy, 1939 to 1945. December 7, 1941, Pearl Harbor. The world caught fire, and the U.S. Army became the hammer of justice. Over 8 million soldiers mobilized. And D-Day being the largest amphibious invasion in history. General Patton's tanks. Eisenhower's strategy. From Normandy to Berlin, the Army crushed the enemy, winning the war. And while popular memory praises the Marines in the Pacific, it was General Douglas MacArthur and the U.S. Army who led the grueling ground war across islands and jungles, clearing the path to ultimate victory. By 1945, the U.S. Army wasn't just a military. It was and is the most powerful fighting force the world has ever seen. Cold War warriors, 1947 to 1991. New enemy, new battlefield, the Cold War. Korea, Vietnam, the Iron Curtain. Though nuclear weapons remained silent, the U.S. Army fought in jungles, mountains, and in the shadows. Helicopters, M-16s, fire bases, night raids. Guerrilla warfare tested the Army's every limit. It adapted. It endured and overcame. Desert Storm to the global war on terror, 1990 to 2021. 1991, Operation Desert Storm. Precision, shock, and awe. The U.S. Army stunned the world in 100 hours, a masterclass in modern warfare. But darker days were to come. September 11, 2001, America attacked, and the U.S. Army answered. Afghanistan, Iraq. For 2 decades, soldiers fought in cities and mountains, deserts and compounds, hunting terrorists, building nations, and protecting home from afar. Urban combat, counterinsurgency, special operations, drone warfare. The enemy changed, the battlefield changed, and so did the warrior. 21st Century Warrior, 2021 to 2025. Today's U.S. Army is faster, smarter, and more lethal than ever before. Cyber warfare, hypersonic weapons, artificial intelligence, space operations, satellite targeting, real-time battlefield data. The U.S. Army is deployed in over 140 countries. From the 82nd Airborne to Delta Force, soldiers now operate in a hybrid battlefield, part warrior, part tech operator. Drone strikes, intelligence from space. The Army has transformed, but its core mission remains unchanged. Legacy of the warrior, 250 years strong. From the snow at Valley Forge to the mud in Vietnam, from the streets of Baghdad to satellites in orbit, the battlefield has evolved. War is no longer fought with just bullets and bombs, but with data, code, speed, precision. Yet one thing never changes. Defend the Constitution and constitutional republic. Protect the American people. Fight and win the nation's wars, foreign or domestic. This is more than history. It's a living legacy. Every salute, every oath, every flag-draped coffin, built on blood and guts, courage, sacrifice, and honor. This is the United States Army. Born in revolution, forged in fire, 250 years. Always ready, always there. Army strong. Video dedicated in honor of all who serve and have served. Like, share, subscribe for more high-impact military history. Thanks for watching.